Hello students, we are going to start with the first chapter of physics, that is units and measurements. So what are these measurements and how do we measure many things in our day-to-day life? We measure time with the help of clock. We say that it's 10:30 am or 10:30 pm. In ancient times, when not a single clock was present, how they used to measure the time? They used to use the instruments like sand clock. See, the sand from one of the bulbs will fall into the other bulb completely, and then a certain time interval is said to be elapsed. Like this, there was no instrument for measurement of length also. So they used to make the use of hands only. So they used to measure it like this: 1, 2, 3. So width of this table is 3 hands. But see, if the height of the person changes, these 3 hands may be measured like 4 hands or 2 hands also. So this was not a particular standard that can be used for measurement. It was not precise. Nowadays we use very much precise instruments and precise measurements we do. You have a scale to measure 4 centimeter, 5 centimeter also. So as communication systems improved, the trading between the countries, states improved, we moved towards better and better techniques of measurements, better systems of units, and we designed a certain standards where we can precisely measure the length or mass or time that we want. Physical quantities can be measured with a very precise instruments and precise units. So we are going to see what systems of unit were present nowadays, which system is in use, and how the measurement techniques are improved. This is what we will study in this particular chapter. Hello students, today we will start with the topic units and measurements. In our day-to-day life, we measure many different quantities like mass, length, time. We tell about the time, it is 10:50 am, 10:30 pm, etc. Now similarly in physics, when we are measuring certain quantities, when we are performing experiments, we need the units, and we are going to study about the units in this chapter. Now units and measurements. What are measurements? Measurements lead to a unit actually, right? We measure mass and we represent it in terms of unit. Let me give you an example. Now if I measure mass, m is equal to 5 kg, or let us say length L is equal to 5 meter. Now here kg we call it as unit, or meter we call it as unit. And what is this? It is a numerical value associated with the unit. So whatever is the numerical value associated with the unit, we call it as magnitude. So any quantity in physics, or you can say any physical quantity, can be expressed as its magnitude and its unit. Then it is completely described by the experimenter. Okay, so when I say that the mass is 50 kg, the length is 10 meter, I am expressing length completely with its magnitude and its unit. Now these units are varied units. For example, I use 3 different kinds of units for length itself. How? I calculate it in meters, I calculate it in centimeter, I calculate it in millimeter, right? So what are these? These are the variations. So when I want to measure a smaller length, I use a smaller unit. I always need a standard. So unit means a comparison. We are comparing to a standard quantity, to some standard which we have decided. You can see the definition in the textbook also. See, I'll show it to you. The standard measure of any quantity, let me underline it. The standard measure of any quantity is called as unit of that quantity. So meter is a standard measure that we have decided to measure the length. That's it. So let us see now the types of units, different systems of units. There are 3 systems of unit which were in use over the world. Okay, there are 3 systems of unit. FPS, CGS and MKS. These are three systems of unit. Let us see one by one. FPS, we mean foot, pound, second. CGS, centimeter, gram, second. And MKS, meter, kg, that is kilogram, and second. Now you must have understood what I mean to say by all these systems of unit. Let me explain it to you. FPS, in FPS system, the length is measured in feet. The unit of length in FPS system is feet. Then the unit of mass is pound and unit of time is second. Similarly, these are the two systems that are in use. CGS, centimeter, gram, second. Length is measured in centimeter, mass is measured in gram and time is measured in second. This FPS system was used in India when British system was there. Nowadays no one uses this system. Mainly CGS and MKS are in use. Now let me come to the MKS system. MKS is meter, kg and second. Now over the world, entire world is using this MKS system and it is also called as SIM system of unit. SI means System International. Now what is the need to decide the unit globally? See, whenever I am measuring some quantity in my country, the same quantity I should be able to explain it in some other country or in some other state also. For example, if I go to America and if some of my friend tells me to buy something from America, I should be able to buy the same thing of the same measure. Nahi to what will happen? 1 liter of milk in state of Maharashtra is different and 1 liter of milk in Gujarat is something different. So if you want to buy 1 liter in Gujarat, they will give you a big vessel of milk where you are getting 10 liters of milk. There will be large ambiguity in trading cases. See, whenever the two countries, two states, I mean to say two cities, they are communicating, we are trading, we have to use the system globally. So this is the importance of this SI system and this was designed in 1971. Now in 1971, there was an international general conference where this system of unit was designed. Now according to this system, we are using the length in meter, the mass in kg and time in second. So whenever we are learning, we are solving numericals in physics, we will have to use always SI system of units. Convert all the quantities in the given numerical to SI units and then only we will solve the numerical. As and when it comes, I will explain it to you again. Now let us see the types of units, that is types of quantities and their units. Fundamental and derived. Let me explain it to you. Now tell me, see here, what is the unit of mass? Kg. Mass is, let me take another example. Let us say m is equal to 7 kg. Let us take another example of length, that is 5 km. Let us say distance between my academy and my house is 5 km. Now when I say 5 km or 5 meter or 7 kg, it is 7 kg only. It does not need any other quantity for its description. 7 kg, when I say, I understand what is 7 kg. So these are called as fundamental quantities. The quantities which do not require any other quantity for their measurement. Okay, such quantities are called as fundamental quantities and obviously their units are called as fundamental units. Now there are 7 different physical quantities. There is a chart given in your textbook also. There are 7 different fundamental quantities which do not need any other quantity for their measurement. So as I told you, mass is there. Mass is, its symbol is m. Its SI unit is kg. We will see all the 7 different quantities. Length is meter. Its SI unit is meter. Symbol is small m. Let us go through this table. Another quantity, time. Second symbol is S. Temperature Kelvin, electric current ampere, luminous intensity candela, amount of substance mole. You must be knowing all these quantities, only you may not know this luminous intensity. It is a quantity that is used for measuring light related parameters. Luminous intensity. Another is amount of substance. This you may have learnt in chemistry. Okay, amount of substance is measured in moles. You will learn mole concept in chemistry also. Okay, now let us see the another type of units, that is derived units. What is the unit of velocity? See, velocity is meter per second. Meter per second. Meter second raised to minus 1. This is how we represent it, or we represent it like this: meter dash second raised to minus 1. So the formula for velocity, I can write it as displacement upon time. Or if it is speed, I will write distance upon time. So when I want to express velocity, or when I want to tell the speed of a vehicle, I need two different quantities, that is distance and time. Even if one of the quantity is not known to me, I cannot write what is speed. Speed is specified with distance and with time. 50 meter per second. I will need distance as well as the time. So such quantities are derived from two different quantities. See, displacement and time are two different quantities from which velocity is derived. So velocity is called as derived quantity and its unit is called as derived unit. Let us take one more example. You can take the example of acceleration also. What is the unit of acceleration? I hope you already know this unit. If you are not knowing some units of some physical quantities, you learn them. Okay. Unit of acceleration is meter per second square, or we represent it like this: meter per second. Meter second raised to minus 2. So what is involved here also? Distance and time both are involved. Another example, density. We will see many different examples. I am just taking here few of them. Kg per meter cube. So I need mass as well as, what is meter cube? Meter cube is volume. So I need volume also. So unless I know mass and volume both, I cannot explain what is density. So these two quantities are required in order to represent the density. So density is called as derived quantity and its unit is called as derived unit. So let me define derived quantity again. The quantities which are derived from fundamental quantities. The quantities which need some fundamental quantities for their representation are called as derived quantities and their units are called as derived units. So we can see there are many different derived quantities. In fact, other than these 7 fundamental quantities, all the quantities are derived quantities in physics. Now I want to explain you two more fundamental quantities. Okay, I will explain it to you. They are plane angle and solid angle. The unit of plane angle that we measure, I will show it to you. See, the normal angle that we measure, this is theta that we measure, right? Let us say angle ABC. We represent it by theta. So theta equal to 30 degree, 40 degree, whatever, it can be obtuse also. The SI unit of this plane angle, this is called as plane angle. SI unit of this angle is radian. We have not seen this unit till 10th standard. We are measuring angles in degrees only, 30 degree, 40 degree. Now henceforth you will have to measure the angles in radian. Why? Because SI unit of angle is radian. We will use SI units always. Now what is solid angle? It's very interesting concept. I'll show it to you. Now this is a plane angle. Imagine a ice cream cone. Okay, imagine ice cream cone. I hope all of you like the ice cream, right? I know that all of you like the ice cream. Now when we are imagining the ice cream cone, See, this is the angle. Let us say this is a small plane angle. Okay. Now what happens in the cone? This surface is making an angle here. Right? Can you imagine this? See, this circular face is making an angle here. So see here, if I draw the dotted line, you can imagine that this is also like this. This is also a angle. This angle is called as solid angle. See, when surface makes an angle with this given radii, it is a solid angle. So whenever next time you eat an ice cream, you imagine the solid angle that you are seeing here. Okay, so this is the solid angle, that is the angle made by the surface. When we are talking about the plane angle, it is just by the arc of the circle. It is the arc of the circle makes the plane angle at the center, but the surface, it will make the solid angle at the surface. You can also imagine ice cream cone in your hands, right? You can imagine that there is a circle that is getting completed because of the surface that is making an angle. Okay, clear? So this solid angle has SI unit, steradian. STERADIAN. We represent it as ST-RAD. Radian we represent as RAD. So RAD. So steradian we represent it as STRAD. Okay. Now the another point that we are going to see is measurements. Now actual measurement, when we come to the topic measurements, now what to measure? We measure many different quantities, length, mass, time. Here in this topic we will see how to measure large distances, how mass is measured with different quantities, and how time is measured with different larger quantities. We only know second, hours, minutes, that we know, but there are some more quantities which measure time, like light year. Okay, we are going to see that. Now first of all, measurements of large distance, we are going to see a parallax method in this. Okay, let me explain. Before that, you perform an experiment with me. Okay, you just close your one eye and try to see your hand with the another eye, left eye. Okay, now close your left eye and see the same hand with another eye, right eye. So what do you observe? Can you tell me the observation? Okay, you can put it in the comments also. It is very interesting experiment. You are seeing the same object, you are seeing the hand only, right? But the observer's position is changing. It is the position change that you are observing here. Okay, the same method we are going to use to measure the large distances, like the distance between the stars and the earth surface. Okay, and that is why this method is called as parallax method. Observer position is changing, so it is called as parallax method. Now how observer is going to be changed on earth surface? So let me explain it to you. What we will do is, we will consider the 2 points on the earth surface. This is one point and this is another point. Obviously the distance between the 2 points is known to us, right? So I will try to observe the star from this point also and from this point also. So the observer's position is changed. The way we did the experiment, we are going to do it with the same technique. I will take 2 points on the earth surface. I will observe the star from this point and observe the star from this point. So what will happen? I can draw a angle here. I can draw a line here and here. So I can measure the angle between the 2 positions. I can measure this angle between the 2 positions by joining these 2 rays which we are observing. Okay, so I know that this is theta. I know this distance d. Okay, I can measure this r, distance r. Let us say this is r. We know that arc of a circle, when it subtends an angle theta at the center, if the length of the arc is s, I write it as radius of the circle is r. We write the formula as s is equal to r theta. So here also what I will do? Here s means what? This distance between the 2 points on the earth surface. So I will write D is equal to R into theta. So it is very easy to calculate the distance between the star and the earth surface, which is R. Because these two quantities are known, I can find out R as D upon theta. You can take the notations as with different variables, like you can consider R here, D here. Just remember that we want to measure this distance. Okay, using the formula S is equal to R theta, we can measure such large distances. So this is the parallax method. I hope you are finding it interesting. Parallax method, we are going to use it in light part also. There we are going to see light related parameters with the help of this method. Okay, now we have seen how large distances are measured. What all other units are used for this measurement, that also we will see. See, when light travels, you already know that the speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. See, 10 raised to 8 is a very large distance that we are calculating for light. Meter per second, 10 raised to 8 meter per second light travels. So if I want to measure the distance between stars and the earth, or distance between different planets, it is also a very large distance. And there I use the concept called as light year. I'll show you how to calculate the light year. Now, light year is the distance. How do we calculate the distance? We calculate it using speed into time. We know that the formula for speed is distance upon time. So we calculate distance using speed into time. Now see, 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter is the speed of light in 1 second. So if I calculate the time in which it travels, see, I will multiply by the year. Year, that is 365 days, multiplied by 24 hours of each day. 24 hours of each day, and multiplied by 3600 seconds. That means if I calculate the distance traveled by light in 1 year, I will get this quantity, and this quantity is called as 1 light year. See, this is a very large quantity, and we use it for mentioning the distances between the stars, planets. So scientists use this unit to mention distances between different astronomical objects. They mention it like 5 light years, 4 light years. So you understand from that how much is the distance between these two planets. Another unit, I will show it to you. It is astronomical unit. 1 astronomical unit, the page number is 4. 1 astronomical unit is 1.496 into 10 raised to 11 meter. Then 1 light year, it is calculated here, 9.46 into 10 raised to 15 meter. 1 parsec is also one more quantity, that one more unit that is measured. It is 3.26 light years. Then there is a small unit in your textbook that is called as do you know. It is also very interesting. It is giving you idea for more units. It is given on page number 5. Fermi, it is a small distance measured. 1 Fermi is 10 raised to minus 15 meter. Then angstrom is one more unit. 1 angstrom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Angstrom unit, we use it in physics in 11th and 12th standard. In very much extensively we will use it. In light part specifically, we will use it to mention the wavelength. Then measurement of mass. Let us come to the quantity called as mass. So mass, as I told you, you already know it is measured by spring balance, beam balance. But what about the smaller masses like atomic mass? How can we represent the atomic mass? It is represented as 1 atomic mass unit, AMU. It is represented as AMU, atomic mass unit. Initially, it was not represented in kgs. The atomic mass unit was represented as compared with the carbon atom, 1/12 of mass of carbon atom. Now we can represent it as simply 1 AMU is equal to 1.67 into 10 raised to 27 minus 27 kg. Minus is very important here. It is very small mass, so it is 10 raised to minus 27. Then measurement of time. Measurement of time also, you know, we use watches to measure the time. Very simple, seconds, minutes, hours, right? But for the duration of the rotation of the earth, rotation of moon, we use the units such as solar day. You can see here, one mean solar day is considered as the reference. It is the average time interval from one noon to the next noon. Then there is a information given about the cesium atomic clock. Okay, you can go through it. It is very easy. It is talking about the vibrations, time required for the vibrations, and accordingly the measurement is done. One more unit, 1 angstrom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Angstrom unit, we use it in physics in 11th and 12th standard in very much extensively. We will use it in light part specifically. We will use it to mention the wavelength. Then measurement of mass. Let us come to the quantity called as mass. So mass, as I told you, you already know it is measured by spring balance, beam balance. But what about the smaller masses like atomic mass? How can we represent the atomic mass? It is represented as 1 atomic mass unit, AMU. It is represented as AMU, atomic mass unit. Initially when it was not represented in kgs, the atomic mass unit was represented as, compared with the carbon atom, 1/12 of mass of carbon atom. Now we can represent it as simply 1 AMU is equal to 1.67 into 10 raised to 27 minus 27 kg. Minus is very important here. It is very small mass, so it is 10 raised to minus 27. Then measurement of time. Measurement of time also, you know, we use watches to measure the time. Very simple, seconds, minutes, hours, right? But for the duration of the rotation of the earth, rotation of moon, we use the units such as solar day. You can see here, I will underline the statements here, page number 5. 1 mean solar day is considered as the reference. It is the average time interval from one noon to the next noon. Then there is a information given about the cesium atomic clock. Okay, you can go through it. It is very easy. It is talking about the vibrations, time required for the vibrations, and accordingly the measurement is done. Now let us see the conventions that are used to represent these units. Now what are conventions? Conventions means representations, and how to represent. There are rules to represent the given unit. Those are called as conventions. So the first of all very important convention that is used is write all the units in small letters. For example, if you are writing meter, or you write it METRE, okay, always represent the given unit with the symbol. For example, you should write meter like this with symbol M, centimeter with symbol CM, it is a symbol. Even if you want to write the full unit, you should write all the letters in small letters. Very important convention. Another convention that is used is if the unit is named after a scientist. For example, unit of force, it is Newton, so it is represented or it is defined in the memory of the scientist Newton. So in such cases you should write the symbol with capital letter, because it's the name of the scientist, right? So you should start with the capital letter, Newton. Another, joule. Then one more example, what are all other units that are represented with this? Pascal, pressure. Pressure is measured also in the name of the scientist, Pascal. Pascal is the unit. Okay, if the unit you want to write separately, that is, you don't want to write the symbol but you want to write the Newton, NEWTON, this is how you want to write full form, then you should use all the letters as small letters only. Another convention is that do not use plurals. Plurals are not allowed. Plurals not allowed means what? Force is 50 newtons. No, you should not write like this. Or length is let us take 70 centimeters, cms. No, very wrong. You should not write it like this. You should only write 70 centimeter. That's it. Do not use plurals anytime. Okay. Another very important convention, do not use punctuation marks. Means what? Some students are very particular about their presentation. So see how do they write. They write like this. They write F is equal to 10 Newton, full stop. No, no, no. Do not write full stop. Very wrong method. Do not use any punctuation mark. You should only write F is equal to 10 Newton. Box it. That's it. Or length is equal to 20 centimeter. That's it. No plural, no punctuation mark. Nothing. No exclamatory mark. Nothing. Okay. Then another important convention. Don't write the unit in the form of ratio. Means what? We have habit, all of us have the habit of writing velocity as 25 meter per second. No, it is a ratio and you should not write like this. You should not write the unit like this. You should write it like meter dash or hyphen second raised to minus 1 or meter space second raised to minus 1. That is how you should represent it. So these are some conventions that are used to represent the unit. We should follow these conventions in order to understand the units properly. You should write the units in these forms using these conventions only. Okay. Now we will see a new concept called as dimensions. Okay. You must be knowing what is dimensions. You may tell me that dimensions are 2-dimension, 3-dimensional figure you will show me and you can show me the dimensions. These are not the dimensions, these are different. Okay. Now dimensions are something that represent the derived quantities. Okay. I will tell you the definition. See. As I told you, the quantities which are derived quantities, they are derived from their fundamental quantities. For example, velocity, its unit is meter second raised to minus 1. Now this meter second raised to minus 1 means what? Distance and time. So now what dimensions do? They represent the derived quantity, okay, to the powers of fundamental quantity. I will represent, then you can understand. See, I will represent velocity. I am raising the fundamental quantities to the powers in order to represent the derived quantity. See, the powers to which fundamental quantities are raised in order to represent derived quantity. So what is done is symbols of fundamental quantities are written in square bracket, rectangular bracket. Length, mass, time. L represents length, M represents mass and T represents time. So L, M, T, these are the fundamental quantities. Now let us see where they are present here in velocity. Velocity's unit is meter per second. So distance, meter, L raised to 1. Meter has power 1. So I will write here 1. L raised to 1. Mass is not here. Here is only time. So second raised to minus 1. So I will write T raised to minus 1. And mass, there is no mass included in velocity. So I will write M raised to 0. So I am representing derived quantity, that is velocity, with the help of powers, that is indices, to the, raised to the, to whom they are raised? To the fundamental quantities. Okay, getting my point? I will take another example. See here. Let us take a simple example of area and volume. Yes, very simple example. Area and volume. What is the unit of area? Think about it. Meter square, and volume meter cube. See, it is very important for you to see the units, SI units of different physical quantities. You learn them. Okay, there is a table in the textbook, and please go through the units and learn them. Units are very important for us in these 2 years. We are going to see different kinds of units. We are going to solve numericals, so units are very important. Now see, area is meter square, means what? I need distance twice, length and breadth I will need, then only I will be able to represent the area. So when I represent it with fundamental quantities, L, M, T, the fundamental can be the 4th one also. Current can also be there, temperature can also be there, but here it is not required, so I am not writing. But if you want to write, if you want to represent, you can represent it like this also. I will write here temperature means what? Kelvin. SI unit is Kelvin, so I can write here. But there is no temperature here in the quantity, so I will write K raised to 0. Now here area meter square, that is length square. So M raised to 0, T raised to 0. Only length is present. So L square. Mass is not present, time is not present, K is, that is temperature, not present. So I am writing raised to 0 to everyone. M raised to 0 means what? 1. L square into 1 is what? L square itself. So I can write it like this also. L square. Only L square I will write. No need to write M raised to 0, T raised to 0, etc. So now if I want to represent volume, how do I represent it? Simply as L cube. It is distance raised to the power 3. So it will be L cube in rectangular bracket. So it's very easy. Let us take practice of some more examples. Let us take an example of density. Is it fine for you? Density. See here. What is the unit of density? Kg per meter cube. So you always try to represent the unit first, then try to see the quantities, fundamental quantities that are present, and then represent it with the help of dimensions. It will give you a better understanding. L, M, T. Initially you take the quantities only with length, mass and time. Then we will go ahead with the difficult, that is ampere, temperature, etc. Now see, mass is kg, so m raised to 1. What else I have? Meter raised to -3, so L raised to -3. Do I have any other quantity? No. So I will write raised to 0 to all other quantities that are present. In this way also you can write the dimensions. Let me go to a difficult example, little difficult, not much. Let us write the unit of force. Very good, force. Now what is SI unit of force? Newton. I hope all of you remember. It is Newton. Newton. Okay. Newton, how do we represent F? F is equal to MA. That is kg meter per second square. So you will have to write the unit in terms of fundamental quantities first. How can I write force? I can write it as kg meter per second square. Why? Because force is mass into acceleration. So kg unit of mass and acceleration's unit meter per second square. If you don't know the unit of any quantity, you can write it like this also. Try to recall the formula, and then from formula you can easily write the unit. Whatever quantities are involved in the formula, we can represent them in terms of units. That's it. It's very easy. Only in case of force, we don't write this unit. We write SI unit of force as Newton. So you will have to learn such units. Now let us go to dimensions. L, M and T. What is the unit? kg meter per second square. Let us say first kg, m raised to 1, meter, that is L raised to 1, and second raised to minus 2, so T raised to minus 2. I hope you are all understanding the examples. Now let us go to little more difficult example. Energy we will take. Okay, what is the SI unit of energy? Think about it. While I am writing, think about it. Energy, SI unit, try to recall. I hope all of you are able to recall. It is Joule, joule, represented as capital J. Now what is energy? It is joule. How to represent it in terms of fundamental quantities? Think about it again. Energy is also work done. Okay, work done is force into displacement. Do you remember the formula? Work done is force into displacement. So let us write the unit as Newton meter, because displacement is meter and force is Newton. So I will have to further simplify this formula. Newton is kg meter second raised to minus 2, and it is into meter. Meter is still there. Meter is still there. I hope all of you are with me. You are understanding everything. Okay. So let us further simplify it. Kg meter square into second raised to minus 2. Now I will write the dimensions. L, M, T. So it is m raised to 1. Okay. L raised to 1, because meter, this is kg, so m raised to 1, and T raised to minus 2. Okay, you also practice at your end different examples for writing dimensions. Now a obvious question which arises: why to learn dimensions? Why to represent them like this? What is the use of dimensions? So there are basically 3 uses of dimensions. Okay, to understand or to verify whether the given equation is dimensionally correct equation, then it is a physically correct equation. We will verify whether the given equation is correct.